So, before I even begin, thank you everyone for the overwhelming support on the Ember video. I never expected any video of mine to do so well. And I'm liking a lot that a lot of people actually like the idea of the build, so I'm gonna keep sharing some of the builds that I have cooked up over the many hours I've played this game. So, this is probably a bit more known, for sure. We have Garuda here, one of my favorite Warframes. We got three builds. One is rocking Eclipse, the other one is rocking Roar, and the last one is rocking Xata's Whisper. So what we're gonna do here is take this Vectus. It has only Serration and critical delay, so that we basically crit almost every hit, because it will have a lot of inaccuracies if we get a random 30% crit hit. So instead of doing that, I just add critical delay and it gets more consistent. And we're gonna test it on these guys that are 175 heavy units with steel path modifiers onto them. Before I begin anything, I will always do this and then kill enemies, because that fully stacks my passive, and it's the best thing you can do to test this these setups out. So we'll first start with Eclipse, which we can see maximum value is around this area. Because of the high upfront damage, Eclipse is actually dealing quite well with the enemies. Barely one-shotting that guy, only with Elastic. So, pretty decent by Eclipse. The very strong part about Eclipse is that your 4 is actually weapon damage, and therefore Eclipse boosts the damage of your 4 by a lot. And I can show you this. If I do here without Eclipse, we get 41, 14, 14, etc. And if I do it with Eclipse, we get 29 instead of whatever. 43, 45. It's not a lot because these guys have a lot of armor, but if you go to the Viri and you add Eclipse, and then you have all the other decree modifiers like status proc till double damage, because Garuda 4 is counted as a melee weapon, any melee decree applies to it. I've made a video into that, and it gets crazy with the rounds. So I think Garuda definitely one of the better frames to take on Duviri. Isn't equally as good as Mesa, but it's up there. So now we're gonna try Roar. We're gonna get our passive. So now with Roar, we deal a tiny bit more damage in terms of, you know, I didn't crit that guy, by the way, that's very unlucky. In terms of bleed proc, we deal a bit more damage than we did with Eclipse, but the first shot damage is not as good. So as you see, the last proc was quite a bit enough to kill him. And now we're gonna get to the main point of this video, which is Xata's Whisper, and you'll see why. So far, hitting these guys after priming them or, you know, debuffing them with my 4 would equal me to getting 1 bleed proc on them. But we're gonna see with Xata's Whisper that this is not the case. So we let the bleed procs run out. And we see 2 bleed procs and he's just one-shotted. That is a significant boost on damage. That is much higher than Roar. So what is happening exactly? Why do we have 2 bleed procs, and why does Xata's Whisper deal so much more damage than Roar? Well, Xata's Whisper isn't a damage buff. Xata's Whisper adds an extra bullet to all your attacks. So if you deal damage, you have an extra instance of damage dealing whatever extra you see here, or on the tooltip on the top right. So if I do Sling Strength, which I did, I gain an extra bullet for every bullet I shoot, that deals 65% more damage. And because Garuda's 4 guarantees bleed proc on every damage instance, hitting these guys while having Xata's Whisper results in 2 bleeds per bullet instead of 1, making the damage go absolutely nuts. Which I'm not sure why now it's... Oh yeah, don't have... This is without passive. I'm killing them without passive. I didn't even realize. I just tried it. This was without passive. Passive, you just like 100% Bane, which is insane. Like, what? So, this is Xata's Whisper. It gives any gun the ability to go level cap, essentially. Any gun you see here, it can go level cap. Anything, anything. You can take Tonkor Prime as it is and just level cap with it. Look. I'm not even gonna get my passive, I'm just gonna go. I don't have like a sick Tonkor build or anything. But that guy got 25 bleed procs. Look at this. 24. Instantly dying. You see what I mean? If you check the bleed procs above these enemies, like 100 on that guy, you completely one-shot anything you see. Like, because of multi-shot, that guy took 4. Same thing. One shot is enough to kill him by a Tonkor without stacked passive fully. I mean, it's like 97, but like, isn't this OP? So next time you're thinking, I want to try Garuda out, take Xata's Whisper. And also, do not do what I did here. I did this for video purposes. Take quick thinking. This mod is essential to playing this character. You cannot survive without this mod. So this is the build for Garuda. The weapon you're using, it doesn't matter what build you have. As you saw, I one-shotted these guys with Evectis that had Serration and Critical Delay. I think I've made my point. But in terms of her survivability, she's still very hard to play. And you guys will have to play around your invulnerabilities, like 1, 4, and then cleansing whatever it is with 3. And using your high energy to survive anything. I mean, she's nice, but she's really hard, that's all.